Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto, chapter 70, entitled Lord Krishna's Daily Activities, text number 42. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmin Deva Kratu Vade. Tasmin Deva Kratu Vade. Bhavantang Vai Suradaya. Bhavantam Vai Suradaya. Tadrikshavaha sameshyanti. Tadrikshavaha sameshyanti. Rajanascha yasashviniha. Rajanascha yasashvinaha. Tasmin deva kratu vade. Bhavantang vai suradaya. Tadrikshashva sameshyanti. Rajanascha yashashvinaha. Tasmin deva kratu vade. Bhavantam vai suradaya. Tadrikshava sameshyanti. Rajanascha sasashvinaha. Tasmin deva guru vade. Bhavantam vai sukadaya. Bhavantam vai suradaya. Tadrikshava sameshyanti. Rajanascha sadashvinaha. Ladies. Bhavantam vai suradaya. Tadrikshava sameshyanti. Tasmin, in that, Deva, O Lord, Kratu, of sacrifices, Vade, best, Bhavantam, you, Vai, indeed, Suraha, demigods, Adayaha, and other exalted personalities, Tadrikshavaha, eager to see, Samashyanti, will all come, Rajanaha, kings, Cha, also, Yashashvinaha, glorious, Translation. O Lord, exalted demigods and glorious kings, eager to see you, will all come to that best of sacrifices. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The Acharyas explain that Narad here seems to say that since all the great personalities will come, especially to see Lord Krishna, he should also come to that sacrifice. Om Agyana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Viditam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nangayate Girim Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is known as the Sunam Bonam, or the ultimate nectar from the Srimad Bhagavatam, containing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the absolute truth, personality of Godhead. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is given to us in such a way that gradually, by reading Bhagavatam from canto to canto, one can ultimately understand Lord Krishna. So therefore this literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, is known as the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literatures. Srila Vyasadeva had written down, divided the Vedas from 1 into 4, and given other literatures like Mahabharata. Still he was feeling some despondency, not complete. And Narada came to him and explained, although he was feeling himself, that I need to give more about Krishna. And Narada confirmed that yes, although you have given so many Vedic literatures, supplementary Vedic literatures, many of these literatures are simply encouraging people in sense gratification and not directly leading them to the ultimate goal, and that is to obtain love for Krishna. So you need to supply that literature, and that's this Srimad Bhagavatam. Unfortunately, people aren't very much interested due to the nature of Kali Yuga. People have very less interest in spiritual life. The sages at Namisaranga described this population as unfortunate, mandabhagya, very unfortunate. They're not interested in spiritual life means manda, very slow, right? To take up spiritual life, to be interested in spiritual topics. They're more interested in India's politics. Who won the election? How many seats did they get? Right? These are all temporary things that will come and go. Right? But yet the whole newspaper is filled. Some blue and some orange, and people are... But if you say, my dear sir, please take this Srimad Bhagavatam, keep it in your home, because Bhagavatam is Krishna directly. Krishna has come in the Kali Yuga in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And they'll say, I have no room in my house for this Bhagavatam. So many volumes, 18 volumes, where I'll put it. Sometimes people become life members and they get free the Srimad Bhagavatam with their membership. Such a great opportunity. But they return the Bhagavatam and say, I don't have room. No room in my house. Right? They have room for a 32-inch, 52-inch, 62-inch television. No problem. But not Srimad Bhagavatam. Manda. Sumandayateyo. And if they have some little bit of attraction for something spiritual, one big rascal cheater is there to befool them. Who doesn't know anything, concocting his own idea, what is spiritual life. So therefore they are mandavagya. So unfortunate. In this Kali Yuga, very difficult for people to follow rules and regulations. All the regulator principles of devotional service. When people hear, it becomes difficult for them to follow. And previously, things were more regimented in terms of rules and regulations. So the Supreme Lord, understanding the position of the Kali Yuga living entities, Kale Vasmin Yugare Janaha, the people of Kali Yuga, he made things very simple. Simple. And he came in the form of a devotee as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. And he gave a very simple process. Just chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. We see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's activities in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu is going to the temple, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, dancing with his devotees, taking Mahaprasadam, right? But people are so fallen, even this process they can't follow. Even this they think they have no time, or they're busy with some other thing. So unfortunate, so unfortunate. But this Srimad Bhagavatam is so attractive. It can gradually attract their minds away from other literatures. And there's so many literatures. But Bhagavatam describes all these literatures that don't glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, as Vyasam Tirtham, means a pilgrimage for crows. Right? We see that crows, they're very much interested to gather in a filthy place, wherever there's garbage. Right? Unclean place, you'll find the crows. So all these things, newspapers, Bollywood magazines, Hollywood, Bollywood, even now they have Tollywood, Tamil Nadu, right? Tollywood. Cinemas, sports magazines, right? WWF, you know what that is? WWF. They have a big magazine for WWF, right? All of these things Narada Muni describes to Srila Vyasadeva that these are all like places that crow-like mentality goes. So being, part of the Kali Yuga, our attraction is there, but this needs to be changed. We have to divert our attraction, right, to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with Uttama Shloka, choice verses that glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, whose remembrance and who hearing about can purify the whole universe. Pavitram. And that's the business should be the business of a human being, is to become purified. The fact that we took birth in the material world means that we're not purified. Right? We made a mistake in our last life, somehow or another. At the time of death, we didn't think of Krishna. We thought about something else. So here we are. We got another material body in a particular family, speaking a particular language, having a particular quote-unquote religion. All temporary things that we become so enthralled with, so attached to. But if we don't change our attachments to the spiritual, then again we'll do the same thing. Puna punascharita charananam. Just like sugar cane. If you travel in Maharashtra, you can get some of the best sugar cane in the whole world in which place? Kolhapur. Mahalakshmi is in Kolhapur, and they have the Maha sugar cane also in Kolhapur. Very nice. And after they take the juice out of that bagasse, they call it, right? It has no value. The juice is gone. It's discarded. So material life is like trying to take that bagasse, which is everything already squeezed out of it, and trying to get some juice out of it. And how many lifetimes we've already had a family? We've already gone through that. We had children, we had grandchildren, we even had great-grandchildren. So what makes this family so important? What about the other family? What about the families in the future if we don't become Krishna conscious? So Srimad Bhagavatam is there and so nicely written to attract us back to Krishna. Originally we were with Krishna, but somehow or another we've come into this material world, and life after life we're attracted by the material things of this world, the Vyasatirtham, the pilgrimage of the crows. But this Srimad Bhagavatam is different. It's such a valuable thing. Because it's glorification of Krishna, it can revolutionize our consciousness. It's a revolution. You know, we have different kinds of revolutions. They say down in South America, they call it the banana republics because they grow a lot of bananas. But there's always, one regime will come to power and they throw them out, and then, 6 months later, another regime. So they call it the banana republics, South America. But everywhere it's like that. And it's called revolution. We're not talking about that kind of revolution. Bhagavatam is talking about a revolution in our consciousness. To become attracted by the beautiful message contained in Srimad Bhagavatam. And in order to appreciate that, we have to become purified. Because we have this leftover Kali Yuga mentality of being attracted by anything else except Krishna. Right? Like when we chant the holy name, the mind goes here and goes there. Right? Very difficult to focus the mind on just chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And that's due to our past conditioning. The mind is so rascal. It wants to control us, to think of anything but Krishna. However, Srimad Bhagavatam is so attractive that even the conditioned mind can become attracted by this Srimad Bhagavatam. And if we're fortunate enough, if we have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to become a little bit attracted by Srimad Bhagavatam, then we won't sleep in the Bhagavatam class. We'll be like that Prabhuji back there. See? Really sleep right next to you, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. You want to wake him up? Good morning, sir. Such a nice thing, Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Krishna. Here's Krishna. He's with his ministers, the Yadu dynasty, right? And Narada Muni is there, advising him to go to the Rajasuya sacrifice of the Pandavas. There'll be many demigods coming, and there'll be many great, glorious kings that'll also be there, and they'll want to see you. As if, and Krishna plays the part, like he don't know what to do. He knows everything, right? So he turns to Uddhava. So Uddhava, what should we do? You're my top advisor. Right? As if Krishna needed advice. But still he plays the role like a dramatist. Queen Kunti, she described him like that, like an actor on the stage. Right? And he's doing all this so that we will become attracted by him. Right? So we don't want to be in the category of crows. We don't want to use this life and at the end of it become unfortunate. One may perform all of one's duties very perfectly. And at the end of it, if there's no attraction for Krishna, if there's no attraction for Krishna's pastimes, then you simply wasted your time. Simply wasted our time. Shrama eva kevalam. Developing that, what is the definition of a devotee? A devotee is one who's attracted by Krishna. Above everything else, that attraction, love for Krishna is there. And the highest love is exhibited by the devotees in Braj, especially the gopis. Krishna was everything for them, everything. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is kindly desiring and distributing that love that the devotees of Braj had for Krishna. And it's such a simple process. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in association with devotees, worshipping the deity, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So a person may do for a little while some devotional service, and due to attachments or whatever situation, bad luck will go away. But for that person, he's never the loser. Whatever little bit of devotional service the devotee performs, that will be with him. It's eternally in his account, right? And mundane bank account, as you go on spending, one day it's finished. Whatever we've accumulated in our account with Lord Krishna, that will never be, there'll never be a debit balance there. It'll always be plus. Right? So a devotee of the Lord is not the loser. But the non-devotees who work very hard to accumulate material things, whatever it is, position, fame, wealth, at the end of life, what have they gained? If they have to take birth in the material world. And there's no guarantee that you'll get a human life. Some people think that once you make to be a human being, they believe in reincarnation, but they think that you'll always be a human being. Not necessarily so. This material world is a very dangerous place. Why is it dangerous? What's the most dangerous thing? The most dangerous thing is that after obtaining the human form of life, to again slip down into the animal kingdom. To become a dog. Yes, it can happen. You can 1 minute be the prime minister or president of the country, and next lifetime dog. So what have you gained? What benefit did you get by the human form of life? Whereas, if one takes to devotional service, one has an eternal connection with Krishna. When the devotees go out on book distribution, and they give someone a book, and that person pays some money for the book, maybe just out of sentimentality. There was one lady, she was a lawyer, and her friend, another lawyer, came to meet her in the office, and he saw on her, behind her desk, she had 3 copies of the Bhagavad-gita. So the man who came to visit the lady lawyer said, "Oh, you're a follower of ISKCON, Hare Krishna. I see you have 3 copies of the Bhagavad-gita." And she said, "No, not really. There was one person at the light, he was wearing saffron, and it was a hot day, and he gave me this and said, 'Give a donation,' so I gave him a donation. I saw the same guy a month later, he was out there, it was so hot, I felt sorry for him, I gave another donation. And it happened one more time, and that way I got 3 Bhagavad-gitas. But what she doesn't know is that activity, it's just sitting on her desk. She hasn't read, hasn't really generated any interest. But that act of giving a donation, taking a Bhagavad-gita, it's there in his office, one day it will fructify. Just like every day we have experience. We get some back pain, some knee pain. Some pain is always there, isn't it? What is that? That's this Papa Beach. And now some sin we performed in our past life, it's fructifying. We're enjoying, quote unquote, our suffering, the result of that sinful activity. Right? In the same way, when we do devotional service, it's like a beach. Someday that will fructify. Srila Prabhupada called it, when they perform some devotional service, like taking a book, their material life is mortally wounded. What that means is that one day they'll take to the devotional service. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, here in Srimad Bhagavatam, we're always the winner. We're never the loser. And there may be others out there doing so many great things in material estimation. But if they're not developing their attraction for the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, right? If they're not attracted by hearing his Lord Krishna's daily activities from the Srimad Bhagavatam, then they're the biggest losers in the world. Right? It's a big insult to be called, you're just a loser. But that's what they are. They are the losers. Big losers. So let us be determined to try and develop our attraction. In previous lifetimes, we developed attraction for so many other things. So many things. And it brought us where? Back to the material world. It's not a nice place, the material world. Birth, not a nice thing to experience. Packed up in an airtight bag, bitten by worms, and such a suffering condition. Right? And then born, squeezed through a very tight place. The child can't even breathe. What's the first thing the doctor does? Slap him on the back to get him to start breathing. Right? While in the womb, the child is thinking, if I ever get out of here, I'm going to remember Krishna all the time. Determined. I'll remember Krishna. I won't forget Krishna. But as soon as the child comes out, then relatives are all there. Oh, Google Gaga. Right? And in that way, they forget Krishna. Again, to become a student, right? Getting so many degrees for earning money eats up all the time. And what's their enjoyment? Sleep. Right? Sleeping as much as possible. So, let us make a determination in this one lifetime. Dedicate to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Dedicate to chanting the holy name of Krishna. Make it it's not such a difficult thing. Make it a regulation to eat only Krishna prasadam. No more restaurant, unless it's Govinda's. And in that way, finish up this business in this lifetime and go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions? Yes, Shambhu Prabhu.
This is a story that took place in 1975. We was distributing Prabhupada's books in Miami. This was during the Super Bowl. It was, America, they have a big game called football, American football. So this was the Super Bowl. And the before the game, they always have what you call media day. So the devotees, the women devotees, they was able to secure press passes to distribute. So, because they were very good collectors. So they was able to get in and distribute. And all the big dignitaries, Howard Cosell, he gave a donation, John Murphy gave a donation, they all gave a donation. But as soon as one of the boys approached the CEO of McDonald's, he complained and they got kicked out. And that story went to Prabhupada, and he heard it. And he said because of his sinful activity, Krishna would not allow him to perform any service. So at all times, he's watching because he's super soul, and he allows us, according to our desires, to serve or not serve. So I remember that story, and really wanted to share that.
It reminds me of another time that one of the biggest book distributors in ISKCON, his name was Tripurari. So he was new to book distribution that time. He had just become a devotee, and he went again to a football game. American football, you know, it's different from what you think football is. It's not soccer, it's something else. But anyway, it's a big thing in America. So he had Back to Godhead magazines, and he was telling as they were coming in, program, get your program here. So people thought it was a program for the football game, and they were taking them and buying them, and he was selling a lot, and he thought, this is good, you know. But then when some of these fans from the football game realized that it wasn't a magazine wasn't the schedule of the football game, our program, they came back to him and they said, hey, what is this? And they wanted to fight with him. So from that time, he never did that again. Anyway, devotees do so many things to try to get people to take to Krishna consciousness. And that's our business. That's what we should be doing. Get people to take to Krishna consciousness. Somehow or another. Get them to take a book. Get them to chant the holy name of Krishna. Get them to take some prasada. And if they do that, their life is successful. Our life is also successful. It's not very complicated. It's very easy. And if we dedicate just this one lifetime to that, then surely we'll be able to meet Krishna in our next life. Any other questions? Mataji has a question in the back. You got the mic? Can you get the mic to the back? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu, for this wonderful class. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My question is this. Today's youth are completely dazzled by science, by technology, by gadgets, by cars, by cell phones, etc., etc. So how we can get them to understand how valuable this human life is and to take an interest in spiritual life?
Well, it certainly is a fact that people are completely enamored by their devices. If you take their device away, it's kind of like you're taking their life away. They don't know what to do with themselves. Some people, the first thing, they get up in the morning and get their device on. So we have an answer for that. We have an answer. It's a very good answer. It's called the Transcend app. So on your device, you can have all of Srila Prabhupada's books in audio. You can open up your device, whether it's iPhone or Samsung or Android or iOS, doesn't matter, and Prabhupada's right there. 80 volumes of books. You don't even have to read. You can just put it on and listen to it. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna book, Bhagavad-gita, it's right there on the device. And you can read it also. You can hear audiobooks, you can read it, e-books. Right? So you can have your device and have the most valuable thing at the same time with the Transcend app. How many have got the Transcend app here? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many have a device? Raise your hand. Come on, you all got devices. All right, okay. So you better get the Transcend app on that device. Otherwise, the device is going to be your downfall, right? It's if you don't have Transcend app, it's Vasam Tirtham, pilgrimage of the crows, right? So turn your device around. Make it a place for swans, right? Make it a swan place instead of a crow place. Keep the Transcend app. Open the Transcend app whenever you got time and listen to Srila Prabhupada's books. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the lecture. My question is, now that the weather is also getting so soothing, and how can one defeat sleep when doing chanting or listening to Bhagavatam class in the morning?
Now that the weather's getting what?
Soothing, very pleasing,
Acha.
rainy season. So,
Matra sparshasta kontiya sitoshna sukadukada agama maino netyas tang satiksha shravarata. The weather's always changing. But our consciousness shouldn't depend on the weather. You know, like there's a saying, fair-weathered friends. We don't want to be Krishna's fair-weathered friend, right? When things are nice, we think of Krishna, but if things are not nice, we just complain. Or we complain to Krishna when things are troubled, and when things are nice, I did it, right? Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, in his book, The Scientific Basis of Krishna Consciousness, gives a nice example. The scientists were trying to put, astronaut into space, and the spaceship there was some trouble, right? So they came on TV, pray to God, the spaceship is in, pray to God. So everybody prayed to God. It got worked out, and then the spaceship completed its, mission, and then they forgot God. Oh, we're scientists. We did it. So we don't want to be like that. No? We give credit to God for everything, and we see trouble. This is coming from Krishna. It's meant to purify me. It's meant to help me, right? Our tendency is to blame everyone else. Hare, mera saath aisa baat kiya. Tum malam hai, hum kaun hai? Right? वो मुझे लैंप नहीं दिया, उसको मालूम नहीं हम कौन? That's not thinking. Should be not our thinking. Our thinking should be Trinadapi sunichena tururapi suhisnuna manena manandena kirtanya sadahari. This should be. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 8 stanzas has given us everything. How to be a devotee. How a devotee should think. Right? So don't be fair-weathered friends of Krishna. In all weather. In times of trouble, in times of good, we think of Krishna, we're grateful. You know, the happiest man in the world, the happiest person in the world is not the richest person. It's not the person with the most power and wealth and position. Who's the happiest person? The happiest person in the world is satisfied with whatever they have. They're satisfied, right? They're the richest. They're the happiest. So let us be satisfied in the service of Krishna. He's given us so much. He's given us His holy name. We have the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire is that everyone in this world become a devotee of Krishna. And we're part of Lord Chaitanya's mission, is it not? So we have a big job cut out for us, isn't it? Pretty big job. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, tell them about Krishna. So there's no dearth of engagement for the devotees. And whatever result comes, it's in His hand. If you go to someone, you request them to take to Krishna consciousness, take a book. If they take or they don't take, it's not our business. Our business is to offer them. Please take. Please take. Everything else is left up to Lord Chaitanya. But if we have that mood, then whatever happens to us, we'll see it as the mercy of the Lord. The Lord's mercy. And then we won't become disturbed. We'll be equiposed in happiness and distress, victory, defeat. But that requirement is to be engaged in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. That's the secret. Then everything will fall into place. Everything will seem, we'll see everything in a true light, whatever comes to us. But being engaged in His mission, that's the ingredient. Okay, thank you very much. Granth-Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
His Grace Bhima Prabhu ji ki.